So good evening, everyone, for tonight's meeting. So welcome to this Community and Culture Committee meeting. I declare the meeting open at 6:01 p.m. I would like to acknowledge the beautiful people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of all lands, waters, and sky in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work, and meet on these lands. Are there any apologies for tonight's committee meeting? No, so we move on to the next one. Request to attend the meeting via audio-visual link. Are there any requests to attend tonight's meeting remotely? As far as I know,
No.
there isn't any. Okay, thank you. So staff and public are reminded that this meeting is being recorded for minute-taking purposes and is also being broadcast live to the public on Council's website in accordance with Section 5 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. The recording will be made available on Council's website. The order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open. Doors to the meeting rooms are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed, that means confidential session, according to Section 14 of the Code of Meeting Practice. Only if the meeting moves into a closed confidential session will the public broadcasting of the meeting be suspended. Council's Code of Meeting Practice prohibits the electronic recording of meetings without the express permission of Council. Mobile phones must be turned to silent during the meeting. Yes.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I have a conflict of interest to declare. It's in regards to item COM 32-23, outgoing sponsorship and donations. I serve on the committee of the Greek Orthodox Church of Kogarah, and funding has gone towards that.
Thank you, Councillor Strategopoulos. So do any other councillors have any interest to declare from any councillors on floor? No. Okay. And I've been told that there are no speakers registered for tonight's meeting. So we move to COM 030-23, confirmation of the minutes of the previous Community and Cultural Committee meeting held on 11th September 2023. Can I have a mover?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Strategopoulos.
No, it was really.
Oh, sorry. Did I? Okay. And who is going to second? Okay. I put it the other way. Thank you.
Oh, I do think Councillor Lansbury seconded it as straight away, but
That's
Oh,
fine.
is it?
That's fine.
Okay.
Councillor Lansbury,
So-
have the second.
Councillor changed it to Councillor Lansbury to second the minute. So all those in favour say aye. Against say no. So I declare carried. We move on to the first of committee reports, which is COM 031-23, adoption of the Georges River Council grants and donations policy and sponsorship policy. So can I have our manager of City Life, Margaret Lee, give us an overview of this report? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, on the 24th of July this year, Council endorsed the draft grants and donations policy and drafted sponsorship policy for the purpose of exhibition for a period of no less than 28 days. So the purpose of this report here tonight is to inform Council the outcome of that public exhibition period, as well as the changes to the final versions of the two policies, being the grants and donations policy and the sponsorship policy. So I'll speak to the background of these two policies, the summary of minor changes following that exhibition period, and then take any questions that councillors may have. So a bit of background. So the grants, donations and sponsorship policy was due for review in April earlier this year. And that policy provides that overarching framework to manage grants, donations and sponsorship requests through the provision of donations and sponsorship to our community organisations, programs and events. It sets the parameters for support and highlights the expected outcomes for each of the different funding programs. As part of council officers conducting the review, it was determined that there was a need for a standalone sponsorship policy to distinguish between sponsorship being for commercial purposes and grants being targeted for community purposes, and also to understand and better meet our community needs for these different programs and giving clearer definition and governance for these programs and ways that they can be harnessed by the community, and to clarify perceptions and expectations for these different programs. So as a result, the sponsorship policy provides an understanding of council's objectives and approach to the use of both incoming and outgoing sponsorship in the business of council. And just as a refresh, the programs that are captured within the grants and donations policy include community grants, heritage publication grants, venue hire grants, micro grants, event sponsorship or event grants, and quick response grants for sponsorships, donations, and for donations for sporting, academic or cultural events. So through the public exhibition period, for both policies, nil submissions were received. But during that public exhibition period, council officers took the opportunity to further consult with our internal stakeholders in legal, governance and our community and culture directorate to finesse both policies, and those changes are summarised in an attachment 3, but I just wanted to go through those minor changes, being simplifying the clauses to remove any duplication, making it easier to read for our community, improve that formatting so that's consistency between both policies, and including references to ICAC, Council's Statement of Business Ethics, and referencing use of Council's intellectual property. So if there's any questions from councillors, happy to take that, and also have our community capacity building team here to answer any questions about our programs.
Okay, anyone have any questions? If not, can I call for a mover for this item?
I'm happy to move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Nick Smirtley. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Ash, Madam Chair, be Hapaha. Thank you. All those in favour, say aye. Or against it, say no. So I declare opened. I declare cleared. That's right. So we move to the next one, COM. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Councillor. COM 023-23, outgoing sponsorship and donations. Can I have Margaret Lee, our manager of City Life, give us another introduction of the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, I'm pleased to present the next report, which is outgoing sponsorship and donations requested by our community to run events. So this month's report, there are 2 events where community groups are seeking sponsorship or support from council. So the first one being on Friday, 18th of August this year, council received a request on behalf of the Greek Orthodox Parish and Community of Kogarah and District Resurrection of Christ Limited, requesting sponsorship for $6,307.54. So that was for a financial value of $5,162.54 and $1,145 in kind value. That was for an event that has since occurred, so it's a retrospective request. The event is an annual church fete that was held at Belgrave Street, Kogarah on the 24th of September. And the request was for support that included the cost of traffic management and barricades, the site fees and the amenities fees. So that's the first request seeking council support. The second one is from the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Australia. So that request was received in June this year, requesting for a value of support of $20,000, and that's $14,175 financially and $5,825 in kind value. So the purpose of that support is for an event called the Epiphany Greek Festival to be held at Cars Bush Park on Sunday the 7th of January. And this event that holds a great significance in the Orthodox cultural celebrations commemorating the event's centennial anniversary. The money and the in-kind support will contribute towards the cost of running the festivals, including children's activities and entertainment and security management. If there's any questions from the councillors, I'm happy to take those.
Well, I just have one question. Can you just tell me, are there any other groups that are likely to apply for such a large grant other than the Greek community? Are there any other, church groups of any description that are they encouraged to hold an event as such?
In terms of other groups,
There you go. Sorry.
hello?
Yeah.
The Lugano Spring Fair, I think I spoke to that report in August. They asked for that maximum value, that $20,000 to run the Spring Fair at Riverwood. So that comes to mind in terms of groups asking for the maximum allowable amount. But off the top of my head, I haven't got a list of upcoming. I'll have to get back to you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just one other one. What about Oakley Lions? They do a big festival.
Yes.
Do they apply for
in
the
the past, pre-COVID, they did each year work with council and went through this process seeking council support, financial and in kind. However, since COVID hit, the people that normally would have been involved in running the Oatley Village Fair, that's not something that they have the capacity at this stage to bring back. I know that as we were coming out of COVID, there was a lot of working with council to interpret the public health orders, understand, what the community appetite was to come to big gatherings as they did. I think 40,000 people would turn up in the streets, from memory. So that's not on. We do meet with the Oatley and Lugano Lions every 2 to 3 months just to check in on what they're doing and what council's doing and where we can work together. And they did indicate when we met a couple of weeks ago that that's not on that forward year planning of events that they're doing, but they have changed to do other events. So they're doing markets on the church site there, and that's quite popular. They do one in autumn, and I think they one in the lead up to Christmas. So that's where they've refocused their sort of events.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. If no more questions, can I have a mover for this item, please?
I'm happy to move, Madam Chair.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Nick Smedley. And I have a seconder, Councillor Mort. All those in favour say aye. Against say no. So I declare carried.
We'll just get
Yeah.
Simon, do you mind? Thank you. We'll just wait for him to come back.
Sure. Thank you. So next one, COM 033-23, quarterly community property report from 1st of July 2023 to 30th of September 2023. Can Andrew Williams, our coordinator of programming and operation, give us an overview of the report? Thank you, Andrew.
Through you, Madam Chair. Good evening, councillors. So the report details the lease and licence agreements for Council's community property portfolio between 1st of July and 30th of September this year. The background for that is council manages a portfolio of 63 community properties under community lease or community licence. There are 37 community facilities in the community property portfolio, which are divided into 40 separate tenancies. There are also 26 sporting amenities buildings within the portfolio divided into 32 separate licensable areas. One licensable area is shared seasonally between 2 different tenants as well. So during this quarter, there were no leases or licenses executed. However, the current quarter we're in, we're expecting some leases and licenses to be executed. We're currently preparing some expressions of interest, as well as a council report for one of the properties. Are there any questions?
Councillor.
Just through you, Madam Chair. It's not actually a question. I just wanted to just get on the record that I think most people know normally I would have put a declaration in relation to this particular item because my son's involvement with Cusp Football Club, but he stepped back from the committee this year. He's still a life member. It's a receive and note report. He's focusing on his employment with Sydney FC, which is not especially relevant in this particular instance. So I'm not putting a declaration in this time, just so people know. But no questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lansbury. Yeah.
Yeah,
Councillor Wayne.
question. So through you, Madam Chair. So from the list, I can see there are several vacant venues. What was that?
Yes, that's correct. Through you, Madam Chair, that's correct, Councillor. And they're the properties we're currently investigating for expressions of interest for the future. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wayne. Any other questions? So can I have a mover for the item?
Happy to move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Nick Smutley, and seconded by Councillor Wayne. So all those in favour say aye. No, against me no. So I declare carried. I think that's the last item of tonight's meeting. So there is no other business on the agenda. I declare this meeting closed at 6:18 p.m. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.